So for today's class, you're going to need a couple of balls and some light hand weights. And 1 or 2 pounds is probably more than enough, depending on what we're doing. And I'll mention that later. So the focus of this class is upper back, neck, and shoulders. Very often we sort of think I should be stretching. So if I feel really tense, if there's pain and tension in my neck, I'll just stretch it, and that'll make it feel better. If you've been stretching the crap out of your neck and it doesn't feel better, let's try something different. So just gonna get you to stand for a moment, close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, notice where your weight goes in your feet. Notice where you're holding tension, like how are you holding yourself up? Are you using a lot of muscle tension to hold you up? Or are your bones holding you up? Just gonna observe. Now opening your eyes, and I'm just gonna get you to start with an arm movement. So it's just arms in opposition, as big or as little as works. And I'm just holding my balls so that I have them handy. So just up and down. You're not really doing anything with your hands. Now, once your arms are comfortably moving, you're going to add the legs. And it's going to be opposite leg and arm, like you're marching. Just marching in place, noticing what your balance feels like, how your hips are working. Breathe. And then just stop, pause, notice. Now focus on your dominant hand. So, and all you're going to do is just toss the ball straight up and down. Breathing quietly through the nose. Let your eyeballs track the ball, which is going to be really helpful if you've spent a lot of time looking at a screen. So screens really sort of limit the movement of our eyes. Okay, got dominant hand going, now non-dominant hand. So just see what I can do there. And tracking the ball with your eyes, breathing through the nose. It's okay if you drop the ball and you have to go chase it. It's fine. Now see if we could do sort of right hand, left hand. So you're just not quite juggling. I'm not that talented. Not yet. Up and down. So once you got that going, we're going to add a little more. So it's the marching, opposite hand and leg, catching the ball, throwing and catching. Let's keep going a little bit. You're going to stop, pause, just stand for a moment and notice. The first thing I want you to notice, maybe your heart rate's elevated. You're breathing a little deeper, kind of a little bit like cardio. The other thing I want you to notice is, what was your pain like? What did your neck and shoulders feel like while you were doing this beginning exercise, this little bit of work? Sometimes just changing your focus can change the experience in our body. It's just noticing. Now you're going to set the balls aside. You put them where you're not going to step on them. Going back, parallel feet, pelvis width apart. So now I'm going to get you to take your left shoulder. You're going to shrug it up and squeeze it slightly back, and then drop your head back. So it's like you're trying to squeeze something between your shoulder and the back of your head. And you kind of move your head a little side to side. Let's create a little tension there. Maybe you're moving the chin 4 or 5 times. You can pick your head up, let that go. Now bring the shoulder forward and drop your head away. And just a little movement of the chin. So we went from scrunching or shortening that side to now lengthening it, stretching it. You're going to pick your head up, you're going to pause. Same thing, other side. So the right shoulder goes up and back, and you drop your head back, and you're trying to squeeze. A little scrunching there. Breathe. And you can move the chin a little bit. And pick your head up. Push the shoulder down and slightly forward, and drop your head in the other direction, so going left. So now it is sort of more space on the right side. Breathe. And pick your head up. Notice how your neck feels. Make some fists. So you're trying to hide your fingernails. Your elbows are straight. Keep your arms close to your side. Pick your shoulders up. Draw a circle forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now go the other way. Up, back, down, forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let your hands relax. Now take your left hand, set it on your chest, turn your right hand to face forward. You're going to pick that right arm up, circle it around and back. Keep going. And you're going to, as you go around, try and keep your rib cage as still as possible, but do let your shoulder lift, your shoulder blades move. Now this time you're going to watch the arm. So you're going to look up as it goes around and back. Just a couple of times. Just something as simple as this can be a pretty good movement break throughout the day. And then can you go the other way? Backwards and forwards. Trying to keep the rib cage as still as possible. Notice if you're getting really tense through the hips. Can you relax your bum a little bit? Arms going to come down. Pause. Observe right and left side. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Has anything changed? Better, worse, indifferent? And then switch. So it's going to be right hand on chest, left palm faces forward, arm comes up, around, and back. Again, we're moving pain-free range of motion. So you're trying to find pain-free range of motion. It is okay if your shoulders are noisy. It is okay if they feel creaky. But if there's pain, ease off. Like, don't tell yourself that you have a bad shoulder or that you're broken, but be easy with yourself. Now you're going to watch that arm. So arm goes up, around, and back. Really reaching. And then you're going to go the other way. So you go back, up, around. It's okay if you don't do exactly the same amount on both sides. Let your arms relax. Just pause. Notice. Then I'm going to get you to move your feet wider than your shoulders. So if you were on a yoga mat, it'd be about mat width apart. And then you're just shifting your pelvis straight side to side. Now, from a side view, very often people kind of wear their pelvis out in front, or you're kind of pushing your hips forward. I would like it if you moved your hips back a little bit and even drop your torso forward for just a little bit as you go side to side. Not that there's anything, inherently wrong with this, but we're good at that probably. So let's do something a little different. So you're going side to side, trying to make sure that your sternum stays still. And then you can hinge more. So a couple things, if your low back doesn't love this, first thing you might do is put your hands around the bottom edge of your rib cage, tuck your ribs down, and breathe into your thumbs. So as you go, you're breathing into the back a little bit more, which can help the back feel more stable. So you might do that. We might have hands on thighs. If you're feeling really strong, just let your arms dangle. Into your inner leg, getting little hamstrings, back of the leg. And then you're going to come back up. So now you're going to need your small hand weights. So for the first movement, you could go heavier. So you could like 5-pound weights, 10-pound weights, really whatever feels comfortable in your shoulder. I've got 2-pound weights. It's not huge, but it's 2 pounds more than I normally weigh. So you're going to pick your shoulders up, draw a circle forward, down, back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now go the other way. Go up, back, down, forward. Up, back, down, forward. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, this next one, 5 pounds is probably going to be too much. So 1 pound, 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds, but less is more in this one. So it's the same movement we were doing before. The arms coming up, around, and back. Up, around, and back. We want a little bit of a challenge. We want the arm to feel a little heavier, but not to the place where you can't easily control the movement. And then go the other way. Go back, up, around. I think a lot of the reasons why our neck and shoulders start to hurt is we don't use our arms very much, like not even close to what they're capable of. So pause And then other side, same thing, up, around, and back. Likely there'll be a big difference one shoulder to the other. They say anyone over 40 probably has some rotator cuff damage. So I don't know, if you're over 40, you might have that, a little bit of limitation in the shoulder. Just do what you can. You can go the other way. I know I hurt my left shoulder falling down the stairs a few years ago, so it's not quite as strong or stable as the right. I'm working on it. That's all we can do. One more time. Bring that arm around. And then just set the weights down and come into standing. So you're going to pause, close your eyes, and just observe if standing feels different. It might not. And then I'm going to get you to come down onto your hands and knees. So coming down onto your hands and knees in tabletop, wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, elbows are mostly straight. And we're going to start out with cats and dogs. So you're going to push the floor away, tuck your tail, cat back, lift your tail, look up, dog back. Keep moving in that way. You might breathe out, cat back, breathe in, dog back. So usually we're pretty good at this. If you've done any yoga, done a lot of cats and dogs. So instead of just going straight forward and back, I'm going to get you to walk your hands off center, and same thing. So if I'm going off to the right, I might notice maybe more stretch on the left side. Definitely going to feel a little different. And you're going to come back other side. So you walk over to the left, and same thing. You might notice one side feels tighter or shorter. Very normal. I don't think we're ever going to feel completely symmetrical. One more time. Really, a little cat back. Come through the middle. I need you to come up on your knees. Coming up into a high kneel. I think shoulders, hips, knees stacked. Tuck your tail under. Trying to get top of the pelvis, pubic bone, parallel to the wall in front of you. So you want to notice, can you get out of this place? Do you see how I'm hinged a little bit? You want to try and get rib cage over pelvis, shoulders, hips, knees stacked. And then you're just leaning back and picking yourself up. Leaning back, picking yourself up. Lean back, hang out there, and then come forward. You're going to come back into tabletop. Maybe hands a little wider. So, we usually think directly shoulder, wrist. Maybe go wrists a little wider than what you think your shoulders are. And then think pelvis parallel to the floor. So top of the pelvis, pubic bone parallel to the floor, and sternum parallel to the floor. So we just have a little lumbar arch, kind of a neutral upper back. And we're going to, from here, keep the back stable, turn your elbow pits to face one another, and then turn your elbow pits to face the front. So it's internal rotation, external rotation. We should be able to do this without moving the hands. If your wrists don't love the floor, you could take your little hand weights and use them. It's not the same shape in the hand, but it can give the wrists a little break. Now, turn your elbow pits to face one another, and then it's shoulder blades together, shoulder blades wide, shoulder blades together, shoulder blades wide. Little rhomboid push-up, scapula push-up, whatever you want to call it. Try and let your head dangle, but don't let your ribs drop. So first, I want you to notice, can you get this happening? Can we get this movement in the upper back? Now, go to the place where your shoulder blades are together. Walk your hands forward a little bit, and then put your elbows down under your shoulders. So when you put your shoulder back over top of your elbow, your hips are going to be slightly forward of your knees. Then I want you to look at the alignment of your forearm. Usually your hands will kind of angle in. Try and get your forearms directly in line with your elbows. Then you're going to shoulder blades together, head dropping. We're just hanging the spine like a hammock between your shoulders and your hips. So a little static extension. Let your head go. Breathe. Notice when you look back at your feet, are your feet together, or can you widen so that your feet are sitting right behind your knees? We should be able to see our feet here. You're hanging, and if your neck and shoulders really hate this, you need more of it. If your low back hates this, just shift your hips back a little bit. Breathe. I'm going to hang out here for about a minute. It's not an easy one. Take one more breath. Pick yourself up through tabletop. And then you're going to come right down onto your stomach. Hands come around, forehead rests on your hands. So you're right down on your belly, hands stacked, forehead on your hands. And the position of your feet is important. So big toes touching, heels wide. You're just hanging out here, trying to be as relaxed as you can be. Breathing your belly into the floor. Maybe wiggle your pelvis away a little bit. Once your low back is settled, I'm going to get you to stretch your arms straight out in front of you. Forehead's downward facing. Toes now point straight back. So if it feels okay, you're going to pick your head up a bit and you're going to look at your hands. And if that's really hard for you and you have neck and shoulder pain, something we want to look at. We should be able to pick up our own head. So you're looking forward, kind of slightly down the tip of the nose, and you're going to reach your right arm forward and your left foot back. So you'll see I'm not lifting, I'm just reaching. Opposite hand and foot. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Pick your head up. Reach left arm, right foot. 2, 3, 4, 5. relax. Right hand, left foot, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Left hand, right foot, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Right hand, left foot, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Left hand, right foot, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Toes come together, heels drop out, hands come around, forehead rests on your hands. Just get heavy. So that's it. Get up now, go for a little walk around, see how your upper back and shoulders feel. If you got any questions, let me know. Thanks for joining me.